What's happening, people? My name's James Smith and I'm gonna run you through the first track off my debut album. It's called Let Me Go. Let me go. Free me from your head. So I recorded this track in a beautiful studio in Devon called Middle Farm Studios. Pete Miles let me borrow his studio for the day. We all just went down there and just hit a load of instruments and see what we could, you know, come up with. I'd written this song, I'd written the chorus to this song on holiday in LA just before we got to Middle Farm, and I just knew that I needed to record it in a proper studio. So I knew that I wanted to have this song with like bongos and congas, and I've actually got a voice note of the original idea. It goes like this. So this was the original thing. Sounds a bit rough, but. So that was the sort of idea. And then I got in the studio with Martin, and Martin is obviously like an amazing keys player. I'm on the bongos, I'm on the drums, I'm like stomping, clapping, playing some guitars, and we like sort of had this vibe going on, and it starts like this. So this guitar part is a super roomy, like, I think I'm playing a Strat here, or it might be, oh, it's an old Gibson actually. I did record a Strat as well. Let's see what the Strat sounds like. Hold up. Oh, the Strat. It's just so bright, and this is really cool, but it just wasn't the vibe. Wasn't the vibe for me. So I used this old Gibson, and it really gave me that sort of Nile Rodgers, like, chic thing. I've got a trem guitar, you know, just proper like old school shit. Some old jangly guitar just to give it a bit more bollocks. So I'm basically just playing the same thing the whole way through the song and seeing what works, you know. It all sounds a bit shitty, but then when it's all together, it's like old and cool. Acoustics, great. Give it such vibe. So that's just me picking up every guitar in the studio, basically. Then my favourite bit was me playing the fucking congas. Is it congas or congos? Who knows? I think it's congas. This was so fun. So here we've got just some random tom hits as well to give it a bit of tension, you know. So yeah, that's what's happening with the drums. Keys, the Hammond I played in Middle Farm, and I can't play Hammond at all, but this was a vibe. Yeah. This is me playing the keys in here. And then I must play you what Martin played on the whirly in Middle Farm. I don't know why it's muted, it is in there somewhere, but this is so fun, this part. The fucking great thing about Middle Farm is that it's so roomy. It's such a big room, so you get a real sense of like band, you know? Sometimes you just need a room, man. You just need the right room. We wrote it in the garden in Devon and ended up doing loads of backing vocals, which I've labelled here as BVs. I've got them running through some nice distortions and like some EQ to just push the top end. This is like my favourite thing ever. It's the Reverb Spring by Arturia. I put this fucker on everything. It's so good, this plugin. Even for just for like driving stuff. Sometimes I don't even use the reverb on it. I just like drive the input, and it's just gorgeous. So if you want that old school feel, I'd say get this 636 reverb by Arturia. So I'm gonna play some of the backing vocals. This is me, Gret, Martin, and Nads.
Free me from your hands. Let me go. Show me that you can.
What I forgot to play is Martin done a little ad-lib, which I fucking loved. This is actually Martin singing. It sounds a bit like me, but it ended up being on the record.
From your hand. Let me go. Let me go. Show me that you can. That you can.
I think that's amazing. I mean, the way I've got this reverb on it. I'm just smacking it on the input, and also a bit of decapitator. I also always get a vibes take, and that's just us like making noises and stuff in the studio, just so it gives the vibe of like a crowd, you know. This is ridiculous. All right, that's enough of that shit. That's always really fun, but that adds so much. If you just put that low in the mix, that just gives it a vibe, you know? And that's why it's labelled Vibes. And last thing I want to talk about is my gorgeous friend, Jed Bevington. Jed laid some strings down on this track, and to be honest with you, I wasn't gonna use this track up until I heard the strings on it. It was the strings that got it over the line for me, and it ended up being the first track on this record, which is mental because I was not gonna use this song. But the strings just changed the game. I think they brought the whole track to life completely. So I'm just gonna like turn them up a little bit so they're a bit higher in the mix, and let's have a listen. So here they come in now. Turn the drums up. This is my favourite bit. Disco! Fuck! And then, here we go. I don't really want to live like this no more. They just bring so much life to this track. Da, 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 da. So I think for me, the strings just made it sound old school and like fucking great. So thank you, Jed, for sorting those strings out for me. There are so many layers, as you can see. We're on 651 audio tracks, which is mental. But it's a really fun song. There's so much going on. And I think you should go listen to it because it took me bloody ages and it's out now. #1 on the album. Go fucking get the album, you schlegs. Let's have it. Thank you for listening. Sweet.